Just remember when you look at this shot, I don't need beauty sleep, I need a beauty coma.
This is Beth Ann Patrick with Author, and today I'm really, really delighted. I'm here with Rita Mae Brown at Ebenezer's Coffee Shop in Washington, D.C., and she's in town on tour for Santa Claus. It's by Rita Mae Brown, and do not forget Sneaky Pie Brown, because as Rita Mae just told me, she is simply the typist. And this is something that's a collaboration. So thanks for being here, Rita Mae, and tell us about Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is set in Crozet, the little town in Virginia, and it's around Christmas time, and it starts at a Christmas tree farm run by monks. And Harry goes there. And these monks are generally former criminals, or they've done some wrong in their life. They've repented, they've served their prison term, and they join the monastery and do good deeds. And it turns out when she goes to the Christmas tree farm, she recognizes one of these monks. She went to high school with him. So she picks her tree, and she's going to come back later and get the tree with her husband. Well, needless to say, the monk is dead under the tree. And that's how we start. Merry Christmas.
Exactly. Quite a Christmas present. This is very much a book about the holidays. And the holidays in Crozet have a lot going on. So tell me a little bit about Christmas traditions, what they mean to you, and how you celebrate in Crozet.
Well, I sort of think of the holidays as the holidays. They've become a time of monumental stress and financial strain for most Americans. The way I celebrate it is I'm all alone. Everybody that's around me or works on the farm with me has families, and my family's all passed away. So I do all their chores. So I get up before sunup, which I usually do anyway, but I have to do everything. So I don't get to go to bed or get to come into the house until a couple hours after sundown, because I'm, mucking all the stalls and doing all the kennels and all this kind of stuff. And it never fails. It's always the coldest, nastiest day. It's either sleet, rain, or whatever. But I like it because then I remember all the Christmases when my family was alive, because I'm with my animals, which to me is a real celebration.
And they're family to you as well.
They are my family, yes.
And we were just talking about the difference between small and large animals. And you have both in almost all of your books. And in this one, we don't see as much of the horses, perhaps. We see more of Tucker and Pewter and Mrs. Murphy. Was that a deliberate choice?
Yeah, because I wanted to focus on the monks, and I couldn't figure out a way to get the horses to the Christmas tree farm without creating havoc. But what we actually, what's interesting is the difference between predator and prey. And the horse, and that's a different mind than our mind. Whereas if you think about it, the corgi and the two cats, their minds are organized very much like ours. We're a medium-sized predator and they're a small. Predators always have their eyes in the middle of their head. Prey animals have their eyes on the side of their head because they can get almost 360-degree vision. So it's interesting. It's one of the reasons it's so easy for Harry and her friends to cooperate. But the cutting point, the cutoff point, is their senses are so much sharper than our own. For instance, I have 10 million scent receptors in my nose, and so do you. One of my foxhounds has 110 million. We can't even begin to imagine the amount of information. And that's what makes this series so much fun for me, is trying to imagine what it would be like to have these incredible senses and not be hag-ridden by ideology that blunts reality.
That's interesting, because someone told me recently that when my dogs go for a walk, when I take them for a walk, it's for them like reading the newspaper or watching CNN.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And that's exactly what you've got here. They're looking for information. Now, one thing I don't think you'll ever do, but correct me if I'm wrong, is actually have Harry or Fair understand what one of the animals, one of their pets, is saying.
Every now and then they get close. But then they'll miss it. I mean, they get the basics like I want to eat, or you're in danger, or danger's around the corner. Because fear actually still transmits between species, and many humans are still able to apprehend fear in other species. Unfortunately, they're not unable to understand the warning that the fear is not just for me, it's for you too.
And that, of course, is what makes the book so exciting, because we can see through the lens of the animal's perspective something that's going to happen when Harry and Fair can, the other characters as well.
We can. But when are we going to learn to trust as we used to trust before technology blunted our senses? Or pick technology or patriarchy, whatever you want to pick to blunt our senses. But when we cut ourselves off from the natural world, which in Genesis, tells you, you will have dominion over all the animals. I would amend that to, you might have dominion over all the animals except cats. Not going to work, brother,
Now, what comes next for you, Rita Mae?
Well, there's always more Sneaky Pies and hopefully Sister Jane's. But I did a novel. There's my true voice as a writer, which is a 601, and I mean that's my literary voice, so
Right.
to speak. And I did a novella that came out this summer called The Sandcastle, which is the return to my voice. And I would like to do some more. They'd be standalone books. They'd be mine. But I'll never abandon mysteries because I'm having too much fun. I just love doing it. And I love Crozet, which is a dinky town, and now the money's coming in. Oh my gosh.
Don't tell anyone anything more about Crozet.
Okay.
Let's keep it our secret. Absolutely. The book is Santa Claude by Rita Mae Brown and Sneaky Pie Brown. And Rita Mae, thanks for being here with Author. This is a real pleasure.
Oh, I'm going to do it, but did they get to see you too, or is it just my face?
It's just your face this time.
Oh, God.
Next time, we'll get me in there too.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.